Good afternoon and welcome to the weekly update with the mayor and Kyle Johansson. And Happy New Year to everyone. It is 2022. Kyle, did you watch the ball drop by chance?
I did.
As did I. As did my daughters, who actually stayed awake. I was surprised to see them stay awake all the way up until midnight. And they, of course, as 9-year-olds, they slept in the next day. But anyway, Happy New Year, everybody. Kyle, I know that today was a little bit warmer than yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit warmer than the day before, but that's not to last, is it?
No.
What are things going to look like, Kyle, for the next 7 days?
So today, look for partly cloudy skies, high of 50. Tonight, sun clouds, low of 17. Tomorrow afternoon, snow. Chance of snow, 80%. Snow accumulating about 1 inch. Tomorrow night, snow early, low of 14. Chance of snow, 80%. Snow accumulations less than 1 inch. Friday, partly cloudy, high of 26, low of 14. Saturday, mostly sunny, high 42, low of 33. Sunday, rain, high 46, low of 16. Monday, mostly sunny, high of 28, low of 12. Tuesday, sunny skies, high of 29, low of 20. And next Wednesday, probably cloudy, high of 43 and low of 30. But tomorrow, please be careful as you're shoveling as your driveways because they're calling this heavy wet snow, or known as heart attack snow, because it can kill people. And dry snows are like powder sugar, but this snow tomorrow could be water impactful. And they said people can die from this, even though 1 inch can equal as much as 100 pounds of heavy wet snow. So just be careful out there as we get through this first mixed snow of the season, as more on the way could be coming in by February. So in the last 24 hours, soon to be announced, the new COVID cases will be announced at 2 p.m., which is about now. But the good news is that we are approaching the peak of the Omicron variant surge. And then by the end of it, getting to late February, early March, we'll be entering into the endemic mode, which is great news, which the CDC director is considering right now. And that's promising some good news. But keep these masks because it will protect you from the cold weather. And looking to the spring, pollen will be coming out. And speaking of pollen, daffodils are already just emerging out of the ground. They're all getting confused. And all the trees are confused right now, even what season it is. And tomorrow, last night, the West Wing team was home against Indiana, but it didn't win because of COVID protocols. And then we got swimming and diving at the Aquatic Center at home against Marshall. It's free, open to the public, no tickets. Come inside and be really warm. Be like 20 to 40 degrees warmer in there than like 26 outside. And we got basketball 3 hours later in the combo against Kent State. Hopefully, women's back home on Saturday, 1 p.m. And we got basketball Tuesday and Wednesday. And we got wrestling match later in January and February. And we got football season less than 8 months away upon us already. So that's good news. Football season's really approaching so fast.
It is. And the BCS championship game is, when is that? Is that coming up soon?
Yeah, March.
Yeah. Wow. All right. And I'm glad that you mentioned the snow and the weight of the snow. And I've got some pretty important reminders for people when it comes to snow events here in the city of Athens. But before I get to that, let's talk briefly about some of the Athens numbers when it comes to COVID-19, Delta, and Omicron, the variants, the two variants that are the dominant variants. As you can see, we're looking at a 12.4% positivity rate. The vaccinations started, again, continued to inch up, not at the rate that I would like to see, but inching up all the same. Completed, we're looking at 48.47%. Additional doses, 14,109. Active cases, folks, the active cases are still on the rise. New cases, again, this is January 4th. Obviously, we are in January 5th. But, if you look at those new cases, 72, bringing us to 216 positive cases right now, and unfortunately our death toll due to the coronavirus is 104. No new deaths, but I know that recently we did have an increase by 2. So, I'm going to echo what Kyle was saying. masks, they work. The vaccinations, they work. The CDC has come out with, actually, the Ohio Department of Health, ODH, has come out with new guidelines. I know that, there we go. And hopefully those of you who are watching can see. I can't see it all that well, other than there are 3 new guidelines or 3 go, no-go charts that ODH has put out, and what you're looking at right now is regardless of symptoms or vaccination status, if you have COVID-19, it kind of walks you through what to do. And first and foremost, stay home. Stay home, for 5 days if you are asymptomatic. It kind of walks you through things, and if you do exhibit symptoms or whatever, it takes you through what you need to continue to do. If you don't, it tells you what to do. And most importantly is if you look at these 3 charts, as we get to the second and third one, you will see that they are continually stressing wearing a face covering. Wear a mask if you've been exposed, wear a mask if you are COVID-19 positive. Again, here's the chart for what to do if you were exposed to someone with COVID-19 and you are vaccinated and up to date, meaning that you are on schedule with your second dose or on schedule to get your booster, depending on what type of vaccine that you have received, whether it is Moderna, Pfizer, or J&J. And then I think you have one more slide to show, or one more, and if not, that's fine. Again, here's the go, no-go for unvaccinated individuals or vaccinated and you are not up to date and what the protocols are. So there you have it. Please follow these. This is our path forward and our way out. And as Kyle indicated, that hopefully by March or April that we will be in the endemic mode. But you know what? Even with an endemic, it still means that the virus is out there and that people can still contract it. So we're going to be moving into a much different space as we continue through this 100-year pandemic. So I think that's all that we have for the CDC guidelines. Yeah, but I do want to roll back a little bit to snow removal. So, Kyle, I'm glad that you mentioned that we likely have snow, and not just snow. As Kyle said, we're talking about heavy snow, wet snow. I'm not a big fan of shoveling wet snow because I'm with you. I know how heavy that wet snow can become. A couple things just to remind people, and that is snow removal, that the owner, occupant, or persons having care of a building or a lot or land bordering on any street with graded or paved sidewalks within the first 4 hours of daylight following or during the fall of snow shall cause the snow to be removed from such walk. And this is a provision, this shall include snow and ice falling from a building. So again, if you are in the uptown and you have awnings or whatnot and snow is sloughing off of your awning, or worse, icicles or anything like that, again, that's your responsibility to make sure that it's cleaned up. In the residential neighborhoods, again, 4 hours after daylight, if snow is falling or if it is stopped, that is your responsibility to remove snow so that individuals who have need of that safe passage using the sidewalk can easily do so. So make sure that you keep that in mind. The other thing that's always a good reminder this time of season is the snow emergency level information. In light of the possible inclement weather that we are likely to experience, again, I think you said 80%, Kyle, and so 80% is pretty high. There's things I want to go through is the level 1 alert, level 2, and level 3. Level 1, roadways are hazardous with blowing and drifting snow. Road may become icy. Motorists are urged to drive cautiously under a level 1 snow emergency. Level 2 advisory, roadways are hazardous with blowing and drifting snow. Roads may become icy. Only those who feel it is necessary to be out driving, should be out on the roads. Contact your employer to see if you need to report to work. Motorists should use extreme caution. Level 3. Level 3 emergency is issued by the Athens County Sheriff in collaboration with ODOT, the Ohio Department of Transportation, Athens County Engineer, and Township Trustees. All roadways are closed to non-emergency personnel. No one should be driving during those conditions unless it is absolutely necessary to travel or a personal emergency exists. All employees should contact their employers to see if they need to report or should report to work. Those traveling on these roads may subject themselves to arrest. So stay off the roads. These are there for a reason. Among other reasons, we will have street crews, on vehicles that have salt and snow plows on them, and they will be out there clearing the way to make way for the emergency vehicles that would be needed to have getting people to where they need to go in emergency times. So again, with level 3, stay off the roads, or you may find yourself being cited because those are pretty hazardous conditions. They don't happen all that often here in Athens County, but they happen. So please, please, please keep that in mind, that it is important to constantly be aware of the road conditions, whether it is level 1, level 2, or level 3 snow emergency. And you know what? It's really easy to follow those if you download Nixle. Use Nixle, folks, because the Nixle alerts will remind you or alert you to level changes if we have a snow event, and we'll certainly update you if it transitions from level 1 to level 2 and level 2 to level 3 if it gets that bad. So, use Nixle. It's also good to remind people to use the Athens, Ohio City Source app that you can find at Google Play or the Apple App Store. And that is a great way to where if you do start to experience, let's say, this week with the snow coming down, there's parts of the city to where I've noticed they have a tendency to ice before they will start to become snow covered. And in that case, that becomes extremely hazardous. Pomeroy Road is a great example, as well as other roadways throughout the city. And you can use the City Source app to go ahead and report hazardous conditions as you experience them, even before snow level reports come out with what we're seeing here in the city. So again, remember those two. Nixle, easy to have those alerts and to be aware of those alerts. Go to the city's website. It'll walk you through it, as well as the Athens, Ohio City Source app. Columbia Gas, the Schaefer Street project, that's a project that's underway as we speak, to where we will see them working. And this is going to be in the area of Schaefer between West Union Street and West Washington Street. So Columbia Gas is going in there and doing some work. So make sure that you are cognizant of that. It's from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. So that'll be wrapping up this Friday, hopefully. And if you have any questions about that project or anything AEP related, please reach out to AEP and speak to their public affairs specialist. And you can do so by dialing area code 419-351-8398 and contact Rachel Colin, who is the public affairs specialist. Christmas tree pickup, just as a reminder, that is going on as we speak. It started December 27th, and it will run through January. I believe it's near the end of January where that will be taking place. So if you want to have your Christmas tree picked up, I would encourage you to call and schedule a time for the free pickup, and you can call 592-3343 and get that on the Engineering and Public Works list. And it's simple. Once you set up that appointment, you drag your tree, minus the base and all the ornaments, and take the tree out to the curb, and they will take care of it for you. It's a Christmas tree pickup. Riparian Forest project. I was in the Riparian Forest south of the community center earlier today. Spent quite a bit of time working to remove a lot of the Japanese honeysuckle and other vines that are invasive, that are, clinging to a lot of the smaller trees that are still down in the Riparian Forest area. It's a really special place. If you haven't seen it, it is basically between the BDT architecture and Marietta Memorial Hospital Clinic along the bike path, and extends all the way down to basically Walmart, or down to close to Walmart, kind of where the soccer fields are. But we have had a company come in and did a lot of grubbing and removing of the invasives, the honeysuckle, the autumn olive, a lot of other invasives that are in that area, but leaving native trees that are in that area, some of them very small, 1 to 2 inches in diameter. And so I encourage people to check it out. And as we continue to develop this space as a nature space, we will put some signage in there, and hopefully in the future create some paths that are kind of meandering paths through the riparian forest, and educating individuals on what are natives and what are not, what are invasives, as we continue on this project. So it's a pretty interesting project. West State Street Park improvements. We're going to be working to improve Field 1 and Field 2 in the coming months with the dugouts, as well as some other work down there. The expansion of the parking lot area has already taken place, so now we will be focusing our attention on Field 1 and Field 2, and hopefully this year at some point we'll be looking to create new restroom facilities down at West State Street Ballpark, all using the Arts, Parks, and Recreation levy monies that the citizens so gracefully voted for. The Eastside Solar Project, again, wanting people to stay in tune on that solar project, which would create a 2.5 megawatt solar array that would feed into the wastewater treatment plant, the community center, the water and sewer lab, as well as the city swimming pool in that area. Of course, that's a seasonal facility, but the solar would certainly be a wonderful addition to help us significantly reduce our carbon emissions and, help bring down our energy, electric bill costs when it comes to those facilities that I just described. Other things going on in the city. Worth reminding people that AEP is going to be out, actually it's Asplund, but working for as a subcontractor with the AEP to continue to do some tree trimming in the city of Athens. I can go through the list, but I'm not going to. Just, remember that when the orange trucks pull up, that's what they're there to do, is to trim around the AEP power lines so as to mitigate this disruption in service that could occur if trees fall on the power lines that are feeding our homes and businesses. So just keep that in mind. It's pretty extensive, with the service that this Asplund is providing. It's going to be throughout basically the entire city. But just wanting people to be aware of that. Community center, they will continue their this special membership rate deal they've got going on. Get 3 months for just $65 at the community center. These are available January 3rd through the 31st, so hurry, because it will expire on the 31st of January. And these are valid for individual adult memberships only. If you have more or want more information on this program, please reach out to the Community Center staff at 592-3325, and you can get more info on that program. Upcoming meetings. Today, the 5th at 6 o'clock, here in Council Chambers will be the Environment and Sustainability Commission meeting. The Planning Commission meeting will be tomorrow at noon here in Council Chambers at, again, January 6th. And then January 10th, City Council will be at 7 o'clock here in Council Chambers, as is typical, unless it is the 5th Monday of the month. And Scott, I don't know, do we have a 5th Monday in January? You know, I don't know, maybe not, but the 31st is on a Monday, so we do have 5 Mondays. So we won't be meeting on the 31st of January here in Council Chambers. That's all I've got for today. Kyle, I'm glad that you guys had a great New Year's together and got to watch the ball drop. And hopefully you and your family had a wonderful Christmas season too, holiday season. And we hope that all of you out there in TV land also had a great holiday season this year. And I think, Kyle, the students go back to classes
Monday.
at OU on Monday. Yeah, so the OU students will all be coming back
Beginning later this week.
this week. Yeah. So we'll see a much more lively uptown. It's been nice and peaceful over the past few weeks anyway, but that will change quickly. Mm-hmm. All right, Scott and Ryan, as usual, thank you for doing such superb programming with the government channel so that the government here in Athens can provide to you timely and important information as well as updates of things happening around our environment here in the great city of Athens. Take care, and please join us again next week for the next weekly update with the mayor and Kyle Johansson. Take care.